Welcome to my YouTube channel. Myself, Sucheta Rajesh Iyer. In this channel, a few of my views on various topics are presented. So let's get started. In this video, we are going to learn about Introduction to Goods and Services Tax. Well, my dear friends, there are two types of taxes, direct tax and indirect tax. These taxes are levied by the central government, the state government, and the governments of the union territories. But there are variety of taxes in these subdivision of taxes of direct and indirect taxes. Direct taxes are related to the personal person and his wealth or his acquisitions, while indirect taxes are those taxes which are levied on the goods or services or everything which we see, which is related to the public as a whole. So, indirect taxes they include the central sales tax, the central excise duty, the customs duty, service tax, purchase tax, entertainment tax, value added tax, which we call as VAT, then sales tax, purchase tax, etc. So, these taxes are very difficult to calculate. May that be for the local government officials or the higher authorities relating to the tax acquisition and working. So the tax authorities and the government as well as the taxpayers feel it very difficult to calculate and to pay. For as a taxpayer we feel difficult to pay a lot of tax amount, and as the officials of government or the tax authorities it is very difficult for them to calculate and manipulate whatever the amount comes to. So to remove this complexities, uh, another tax called the goods and services tax for one nation one tax, under one nation and one tax slogan, this goods and services tax was introduced in the year 2017 July 1st, where the tax which is applicable on the supply of goods and services is uh, taken into consideration. Well, the definition or the meaning is given over here, where it is said tax which is applicable on say, a supply of goods and services is known as goods and services tax. The acronym is GST. We know that. Well, different taxes of the central government and sales governments were withdrawn before introducing this GST, and the goods and services were covered under one tax, and that is known as GST or the goods and services tax. Well, this goods and services tax has many features. The first is one tax. Goods and services are covered under the head of GST, under only the one tax called GST. So it is one tax for the nation, for one tax for one nation, or one nation one tax. Under this slogan GST was implemented. Next is tax collection on supply. Tax is collected on supply of goods and completion of services instead of tax collection on production of or sales of goods or providing services. Beforehand, the purchase tax was done, then later on sales tax. For instance, for a book to be sold in market, first of all the person buying it had to pay the purchase tax. Later on, the person selling the goods had to give the sales tax. But that person who is selling it had to give the purchase tax before selling it, because he had to acquire the goods. For example, the book, he had to purchase the book from the wholesaler, then he is selling it to you. So he has to pay the purchase tax first and then the sales tax. He had to give double tax. He had to give two taxes. So to reduce this burden, this GST was introduced, where single tax had to be paid. And third point is GST Council. This GST Council is a government official where the finance minister is at the center. He works as the chairperson, and from every state there is a representative for
GST, and the whole combination of this group of people, this cabinet of people, is known as GST Council. So GST Council is one of the features of GST. Then comes the GST rates. There are various rates. The rates for different goods or services are given in different schedules, which we'll see later on. Import and GST. Well, imports of goods and services are treated as interstate supply. It is here the import is not related to foreign import, like from another country. It is like from Gujarat to Maharashtra, or from Rajasthan to Gujarat or Maharashtra. That in that context, from state to state, the supply of goods or the import of goods is done between states. Next is input tax credit. GST paid on purchase is allowable deduction from sales of goods and sales of goods and services. As we talked earlier about the tax collection on supply, here the input tax for the person who is purchasing a good and then selling it, he can reduce this purchase tax under this GST. So instead of paying both the taxes, he has to just to pay the GST, and this will reduce his purchase tax. It will exempt him from paying the purchase tax. Next is tax distribution. An appropriate tax distribution system for central and state government is made available in this tax. Well, a very complex tree of tax was to be calculated for the government, may that be central or the state. Now, with this GST, a proper what we can say distribution of the tax has been found for both state and the central government. So it is very easy now for them to calculate. Next is tax determination. All tax rates on goods and supply are determined on the basis of heads of goods and services. It is very easy. Like we have the rate, like may that be 5% or 3%, whatever the rate is, in whichever schedule these goods come, they'll put the rate for that good, and calculation becomes very simple. So the tax determination becomes easy. Next is predetermined tax rate structure. For applicable tax rates, predetermined tax structures is made available. As I said earlier, there is a scheduled rate for every goods. Like they have made schedules where goods and services are included, and the rate needed for them is also allocated. Then there are 5 GST acts. We'll see it now. In the context of GST, there are 5 acts which are passed under the GST Act. We'll see it after this slide. Uniformity. GST laws, rules, procedure, and taxes are similar across the country. Earlier, it was different. Like the VAT for one state was different. The value-added tax, I mean, it was different for Gujarat. It was different for Maharashtra, Kerala, or the Union Territories, or Chandigarh or Pondicherry. It was very different. But with GST, it is applicable at the same rate everywhere. May that be Gujarat or Maharashtra or Chandigarh or Kerala, whatever the state may be, the rate is same for every state. So we can see uniformity everywhere. So these were the few special features of GST. Now let's see the 5 GST acts which we said in the 10th point earlier. The 5 GST acts are: first one is Central Goods and Services Tax Act, the CGST Act. In this act, provisions pertaining to the goods and services central goods and services tax are covered. In the similar way, the State Goods and Services Tax Act, the SGSTC Act, the provisions pertaining to the state goods and service taxes are covered. In the Union Territories Goods and Services Tax Act, the UTGST Act, the provisions pertaining to the union territories, goods and services are covered. In the Integrated Goods and Services Tax Act, the IGST Act, the provisions pertaining to the supply of goods or services or both uh, with other than the own state or other union territories are covered. Means the above seen are for the same state, and this one integrated goods is for the other state or union territories. We'll see it later. The Goods and Services Act of State Compensation, the GST Compensation Cess Act. Due to the implementation of GST, those states who are having loss of tax collection, for for their compensation, this act is formed. Under this, the Compensation Act, the state government whose tax collection will be reduced because of the GST. With the introduction of GST, the tax collection amount or the revenue by a few states is reduced because of the rates. And to compensate the loss created by the introduction of GST is considered here in this Goods and Services State Compensation Act, the GST Compensation Cess Act. So these are the five main types or the main GST acts: the CGST, SGST, UTGST, IGST, and the GST Compensation Cess Act. These are the five acts under the GST Act. Now let's see further. We just talked about this IGST, then CGST, SGST. We'll see them in detail now here. The supply of goods and goods or services or both are done in two types. The goods are supplied or the services are supplied, or the both goods and services are supplied in two types. One is intrastate supply, where the goods are supplied inside the state. For example, uh, from Gujarat, inside Gujarat, from like Bhavnagar to Jamnagar, it is intrastate. The supply of goods is done inside the state of Gujarat, inside the state of Gujarat. And in the interstate supply, the goods or services are supplied from one state to another. For instance, from Bhavnagar to Jaipur or Udaipur, like from Gujarat to Rajasthan or from Gujarat to Maharashtra. That is interstate. Intrastate is inside the state and in their own boundaries, and interstate is outside the boundaries of a state, that is with different states. For intrastate supply, the taxes collected are Central Goods and Services Tax, that is the CGST, and the State's Goods and Services Tax, that is the SGST. CGST and SGST are collected on the intrastate supply. And for interstate supply, the Integrated Goods Services Tax, that is IGST, is leviable on goods or services. For intrastate, it is inside the state, CGST and SGST, the central and the state one. For interstate, that is between between two states outside the state, the integrated goods and services taxes has to be paid. The intrastate supply also is applicable for the union territories, where the union, if the union territory, like Pondicherry is a union territory, right? So if any kind of goods or services is supplied from inside of Pondicherry to some other place inside Pondicherry, then it is considered as intra-state supply, where the central CGST and the SGST is applicable. While if from Pondicherry to Tamil Nadu, if the goods are supplied, then the tax collected has to be done through IGST. Okay, let's see it with an example to make it more clear. For intrastate supply, see the supply within one state or union territory. Here, the goods of rupees 10,000 is sold by the trader of Ahmedabad to the trader of Rajkot. That is with the rate of GST rate of 12%. So the 12% of 10,000 is 1200. Though, so the GST to be levied is 1200, total 1200, because the rate is 12%. So here it is intrastate. Ahmedabad to Rajkot, both are inside Gujarat. So both CGST and SGST has to be applied. So the 12% is divided into two parts, 50-50%. It becomes 6% for CGST, 6% for SGST when we do it. So this 1200 gets divided into 600 and 600. So 600 is for CGST and the remaining 600 is for SGST. So the total GST applicable becomes 1200, as it is the trade is undertaken inside the state of Gujarat from Ahmedabad to Rajkot. If the same example in the same example, if the transaction takes place, if this trade takes place between two traders inside the state of Chandigarh, which is a union territory, then also the same 50-50% of 50-50% under the UTGST Act will be applied. 600 for UTGST and the other 600 for UTGST. Okay. So any supply of goods and services or both done by the state or union territory in their own geographical territory is to be considered equally with CGST and SGST or the UTGST. So for intrastate supply, it is you have to consider SGST and CGST both 50-50% equally. Next comes the interstate supply, where the supply is done outside the state or the union territory. So here let's see with an example where the 10,000 rupees of goods is sold by a trader of Ahmedabad to the trader of Jaipur. Jaipur is in Rajasthan. The GST rate is here 12%. So the round figure of 1200, which is 10,000 into 12%, means 1200. The tax to be levied is 1200. It is to be calculated under the IGST Act because it is outside the state. Ahmedabad is in Gujarat and Jaipur is in Rajasthan. So it is interstate. It is outside the state. So IGST has to be levied. Okay, so the GST to be charged is under the IGST Act with 1200 as the round figure. Okay, let's move on further with the benefits of GST. Well, the benefits and the specific features are almost same here. So the first one is, as we all know, one tax, one nation, one tax. In place of different central and state taxes, a single tax is to be paid by the payers and levied by the government. So that is GST. So it is one of the benefits. Second one is simple tax system. Uh, the calculation of GST becomes very simple due to withdrawal or elimination of different indirect taxes, the value added taxes, the purchase tax, sales tax. With the reduction or elimination of all these taxes, directly one tax has to be calculated. So it becomes very easy. So it's a very simple process to calculate. So it is one of the benefits of GST. Next is the removal of double taxation. The taxpayers had to pay double taxes earlier. Like, as I said, a trader had to purchase first, then to sell. So he had to pay purchase tax, then the sales tax. So he had to pay double taxes, right? Do taxes. So instead of these two taxes, by the payment of GST, single tax. So the burden got reduced and the double taxation got removed with GST. Then is the benefit of price reduction. As the purchase tax and sales tax got removed, see, any trader thinks of his profit, right? When a trader purchases, he has to pay the purchase tax, then to sell it he has to give the sales tax. So while he sells, the amount he'll double it, right? If he has to sell 10 rupees of goods, he has to pay first of all 2 rupees for purchase tax and uh, 2 rupees for sales tax, total of 4 rupees. And what will he get? He'll get only 6 rupees in return. So he'll sell it for 14 rupees, so all his taxes will get reduced, right? Then he'll get a benefit of rupees 10. The 4 rupees is for tax, right? Purchase tax and sales tax, these are 4 rupees, and the remaining 10 will be his profit. So he'll increase the price of the goods, right? So instead of that, when he pays GST, he has to give only single tax, so the rate of the goods will also get reduced. He'll just pay rupees 2 or 3, and the profit he gets will also be more. So without all the other taxes, with just GST, the price of the goods will also get reduced. The benefit of price reduction is there because of GST. Next is the uniform prices. Across the country, there will be uniform prices for all the goods because of GST. GST is applicable everywhere at the same rate, so there is no need for increase or reduction in the prices of goods. Next is reduction in tax evasion. There is a reduction in the size of tax evasion, and the tax system has got success with the establishment of transparency. With GST, it is very clear and simple to understand. So there are many tax evaders who try to skip the payment of taxes, right? When a trader purchases in a bulk, he tries to manipulate some amount and then to evade some amount of tax. So it becomes very difficult with GST to evade, to just remove this manipulation system from the trading. So the tax system or the tax distribution becomes very clear. That is a good transparency in the system of uh, what we can say, the presentation of the tax. Next is input tax credit. As we said, we have discussed it earlier, the GST paid on purchase is deducted from the GST payable. So whenever you pay GST, the purchase tax whichever the trader has to pay, he'll reduce it from the GST. So the input tax means whenever a trader purchases an amount, he has to give the purchase tax, so he can reduce that amount of tax from GST before paying GST. So that gives a credit for input tax. Next is useful for economy of the nation gets stable because of GST, because with a good amount, with a good rate of GST, the nation's economic value also will improve. Balanced regional development. Balanced regional development would take place, and consequently regional imbalance would reduce. In few states, the rates were different, right? In every state the rates were different. So in the time when various taxes were paid, the regional equality was not seen. One state would levy it for 12%, the other one would levy the tax for 8%, so there is a difference of 4%, right? So with GST applicable for the whole country at the same rate, this difference or this gap is removed, so there is an equal or balanced development of each region. Next is the reduction in administrative work. It is very simple. The calculation of GST becomes simple with no other indirect taxes to be calculated, so the administrative work becomes easy and simple. Reduction in government operations. So another benefit of GST is the reduction in government operations, as we talked earlier, for the administrative work. As the administrative works reduce, the government's burden also reduces in regards to the operations. So these were the benefits of GST. Now let's move further with the rates. Here the rates of GST are given under 6 categories, like the schedule 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. which are divided into two categories of interstate or the union territory supply and the intrastate or union territory supply. The intrastate, as we discussed earlier, is divided into CGST and SGST. So the IGST here for IGST is for the interstate one. So let's see for schedule 1. The IGST is 5%, which for intrastate means for inside a state becomes 2.5 for CGST and SGST is 2.5. For schedule 2 kind of goods, the goods or services which are, see, the schedule 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 are the schedules where different kinds of goods and services are included. Schedule 1 has particular kind of goods and services, 2 has different kinds of goods and services, 3 has different, 4 has different, then 5 and 6 have different, right? All these are different, where schedule 5 and 6, these have special goods, so the rates are different, and the first four, 1, 2, 3 and 4 are the common tax slabs. So as we calculate tax, the same is applied here for GST. So schedules, all these schedules have different goods, where 5 and 6 have special goods and services, so the rates are different. So the second schedule is with 12% IGST, CGST and SGST to be 6% and 6%. Third schedule has 18% IGST with 9% and 9% for CGST and SGST respectively. For schedule 4, it is 28% for IGST and 14% each for CGST and SGST. Schedule 5 and 6 are for the special goods and services, where schedule 5 has 3% IGST, well, 1.5 each for CGST and SGST. Schedule 6 has 0.25% for IGST and 0.125% for CGST and 0.125% for SGST. So these are the rates or the rates of GST as per various schedules for goods or services, or for both, for inter and intra states, shown in this table. These were this table is shown under the notification number 1 bar 2017 central tax rates and 1 bar 2017 integrated tax rates. There can be periodical changes in GST rates. Prevailing rates shown above in this table are as per the rates and the time of its introduction, that is on July 1st 2017, when the GST was introduced. At that time, this table was given for the rates under various schedules. There can be changes also. So my dear friends, from this video you would have got a clear image of what GST is, how inter and intrastate supply of goods and services are done, and the rates also. So if you have liked my video, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.